Tonight's opening begins with Capici Cappuccino Milkshake Stout. Interesting. A creamy cappuccino milkshake stout brewed with its own special coffee blend. This one's by Vessel Beer Company, brewed in Winnipeg and packaged at Nonsuch Brewing. Yeah, that cappuccino definitely comes through in there. This one calls itself Key Finder. Let's see what it is. It's a key tag. It's exactly what it says. This reminds me of back in the 90s when there was those, this kind of thing was all the rage. You basically just whistle or clap or something like that, and it emits a chirp so that you can find where you've left your keys. Theoretically, anyway. So my intention with this thing is just to do a teardown with it. I wasn't actually buying it because I needed it. And I'm guessing that it's probably pretty cheap. LED, anti-loss, key finder, key locator, keychain, whistle, sound control, key ring use. I got the red one, but they're available in multiple colors. Free shipping and $1.70 American or $2.20 Canadian. Not quite as cheap as I thought it would be, but not bad. So yeah, it is pretty much what I thought it would be. Whistle or shout to make it beep and flash. Ooh, flash. The old ones, if I remember correctly from back in the 90s, only beeped. Oh, any noise, not just a high-pitched whistle. Okay. So I wonder if this has got anything interesting in it or if it's just a blob chip. Oh, we'll take a look at it at some point in the future. Right, what's next? This one says PC drive ×1. Computer drive? Don't know, don't think so. Oh, okay. It's cable string leaf pieces. This one says it is IP68 rated. These are, as I'm sure you've seen these before, you just bolt them onto a hole in the back of a device, run your cable through, and then as the end squeezes down here, the little rubber bung inside clamps down tighter and tighter on the cable. Let's just take a quick peek in here just for funsies. Yeah, there's the little squidgy rubber bit. And then as the little sort of cone shape on the inside of there squeezes down on this, these prongs squeeze in and squeeze in on that rubber. Makes a very tight little seal around the cable and holds it from pulling out and ripping the wires out of your project. Now, I don't think... Oh, maybe this one is watertight because these fingers aren't, but it's squeezing the rubber ring up against the wire jacket, and it also sort of pinches it and pushes it down, so it may make a seal against the inside of there. 5 pieces, PG7 black plastic waterproof connector gland, 3 to 6.5 millimeter diameter cable. I got the 5 of these for 99 entire cents. It calls themselves waterproof in here. And I suspect it probably is to a certain extent, at least water resistant. So just looking up that IP68 in Wikipedia because it knows all. The first digit, 6, means it is dust tight, not just protected, not just keeps the big gravel out, but it's actually dust tight. Vacuum must be applied in a test duration of up to 8 hours. Not to have any dust come through. Okay. That's the first digit, 6 and 8. Talks about water or liquid ingress. It is good for immersion of up to 1 meter or 3 foot 3 inches. That's not too bad for, 5 of them for 99 cents? Okay, next thing in. This says electronic product. Nothing else in the back. Wow, that is super descriptive. Very well packaged. Bag of LEDs. Bag of 50 LEDs. So let's see what these guys are. 5 millimeter. Okay. What are you? Ooh. Those 2 color or 3 color? I think those are 2 color. That's interesting. I've got some 3 color flashing ones, but blue and red, if my eyes are not deceiving me. Let's just see how quickly they drift from each other. They're all plugged into pretty much the 20 milliamps. So they're all going off sync quite quickly. A bunch of those would make a pretty cool Big Clive style supercomputer, wouldn't they? 50 pieces, 5mm red-blue double flashing light emitting diode self-flashing LED. $3.22 Canadian or $2.49 American from Jinwei-0. Free shipping too. Cool. Not a lot of intelligence from down in the description. Matter of fact, it doesn't even stay consistent with itself. This one is a little bit heavier than the other ones so far. But since it came from the Canadian reshipping warehouse, I can't tell. Oh, hardware. Lots of hardware. So we have some screws, we have some T-nuts, and we have some angle brackets. These angle brackets, and the T-nuts actually, are for working with that aluminum extrusion stuff that 3D printers and things like that are made out of. The T-nuts go into the little slot and rotate to sort of lock in. And then you can use these. See, they've got these little tabs that sort of hold them in alignment. And you can build up all manner of interesting shapes. I've been thinking about doing some modifications or expansions to my 3D printer or add-ons, that kind of thing. And this stuff just seems like basic tinker toy for anybody who wants to do that kind of projects. So I figured I'd get myself an assortment of these parts for when the mood strikes me to do that kind of a project. 2020 series aluminum profile connector kit, corner brackets, M5 hex socket bolts. This set of hardware cost the shocking price of $31.86 Canadian, but it had free shipping, so that's cool. As I said, these are cast aluminum steel brackets for connecting 20mm aluminum extrusion at 90-degree angles. It is in silver. The material of the angle brackets is carbon steel, and the nut and screw are M5. The screws are 10mm. And these are just, like I said, just basically part of Tinker Toy for making various different frames and structures and things like that. So handy to have around. And the last and largest thing in today's mailbag. Oh, it says right there that it is aluminum profile. I'm not used to these things that come from the Canadian warehouse saying what's in them, but yeah, that's exactly what it is. It is some of the aluminum profile that goes perfectly with the last item. Ooh, it's got a lot of aluminum chunks and chips in it. That's not super clean. Let's just peel some of this protective stuff off just for fun. I guess the adhesive on this little protective strip caught some of the aluminum filings while they were cutting it. Yeah, so that is. It's called 2020 extrusion. It's 20mm at 2 centimeters on each side, and as you can see on the end profile, it's got 4 slots, which those T-nuts from the last item will fit into and lock in. And slide them along anywhere along the profile, and when you tighten down, they just lock right in. Optionally, you can tap that center hole or use it for running wires through or something, or you can tap these smaller holes. That one I think is taps for M5, and that is for M2 or M3 or something like that. But it's quite versatile stuff, and unfortunately, it's... Well, I guess it's not super expensive in the grand scheme of things, but by my cheapskate standards, it is relatively expensive. This stuff I think was a pretty good deal, but I just wanted to get my hands on a couple of pieces that weren't already part of something so that I could start tinkering and experimenting and just get used to the system so that I would know what to order if I actually wanted to build something bigger. One piece 2020 T-slot aluminum extrusion profile 300mm for CNC 3D printer 20 by 20 millimeters. This seller is selling it for $7.50 American per 30 centimeter stick or $9.69 Canadian. I bought 2 of them for what was that, about 15 bucks, I think it was. Well, obviously, the price has changed a little bit, but not too much more to say about it. There is the measurements if you choose to enter it into drafting. I'm assuming that most of the popular CAD programs have a stock library item for this kind of extrusion. I haven't looked yet. Quite a versatile thing, and I look forward to experimenting. I don't think I've got any real end goal yet. Like I said, I might make some modifications on the 3D printer, but nothing specific in mind yet. If you got some ideas, throw them down in the comments as usual. And here is the contents of today's Mailbag Monday haul. Quite the variety again. LEDs just for playing with and for fun, and to have, a variety of LEDs. You got to have that. Curiosity teardown, probably a really quick one. Cabinet parts for putting power cords onto projects and stuff. And then all this aluminum extrusion stuff, just for now to experiment with, but eventually probably for 3D printer mods or upgrades or things like that. And here's probably just easier to show you how it goes together than tell you. This T-nut just slides into the slot like that, and then you mount up the angle bracket, and then just screw the screw down into the T-nut. These ball head style Allen keys really help with that, because you don't have to be precise with your alignment exactly on top of the screw head. You can come in at a bit of an angle, and you just screw them down, and it goes down into that T-nut. But I am discovering there is a minor problem here. These bolts are 10 millimeters long, and they bottom out into the bottom of the aluminum extrusion before tightening up. So I'm either going to have to get probably 6 or 8 millimeter screws, or drill these out. Yeah, you can see where the screw was bottoming out in the bottom there. That's unfortunate, but I mean, metric hardware's not the most common thing around here, but it's findable. And I think I've already got a few different sizes of M5 already, so that's not a big deal. Anyway, it's a win in my book regardless. I'm adding to my hardware collection, and that's always a good thing. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Questions and comments down below as usual. Thanks to my Patreon supporters for helping keep the mailbags rolling in, and of course helping keep the beer fridge full. Thanks to my YouTube channel members for helping out in exactly the same way. I appreciate all you guys. And for everybody who's watching, thanks for coming back every week for all this and putting up with me taking a week off a while ago. Appreciate all of you. Talk to you later.